Hey guys, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel. I do want to say my last video I posted, which was I tried shadow work for the first time, and here was the results. So if you didn't see that, go watch that. Like, I had a couple people DMing me about that, and pretty much I decided to just go ahead and make a separate video because I talked about my experience. But in this video, I want to talk about like how you know you're doing it the correct way. Just a disclaimer, I don't feel like there's a correct way to do it. You know your situation best. You know what'll work for you. You know, if you have a busy schedule, you can probably only fit like an hour of shadow work into your day, or you can squeeze more than enough hours. Like, you'll figure it out. There is no correct way to do it because it will always be rocky. You always have these ugly feelings that you have to deal with. Not like you'll just become spiritual and it's peace and love for all 24/7. I feel like spirituality just helps you to navigate those emotions, and it helps you to understand yourself a little bit more, because you want to know this stuff. You don't get taught this stuff. No one's gonna sit you down and teach you. So it's just a new way of thinking and a new way of living. You're changing your mindset into a better one, and you're learning a new way of understanding yourself. So that's pretty much what it is, and we'll get into it. But just know it's not all peaches and cream like people focus on. I want to focus on the ugly. Just because I want to be realistic. Like, once you're doing it, a lot of people get these negative experiences, I feel like, because they aren't well informed. There's so many other ones. If you don't want to focus on like the scary parts of it, or the ugly, the less talked about feelings, I guess, then I guess my videos aren't for you, because I'm going to be 100% honest and I'm going to talk about it. Since my last video probably was a little bit scary, I'm just going to focus on like the positives for this video. Before we get into the video though, I just want to say, if you don't know me, my name is Jamie, and I'm a little bit more on the spiritual side now, but I do make videos for girls, and I just talk about things, I give my opinions, and it's mostly to help girls. Guys can watch too. A couple guys do watch. Yeah, without further ado, we're gonna get into this video. When you're first starting out, trauma will uncover so many layers of emotions that you didn't even know was pushed down. So when you first have your spiritual awakening, obviously it won't be the best. Deep down inside, you'll feel like absolute trash. You're uncovering those emotions, past abuse you've been through, or like that could be verbal abuse, physical abuse, like bullying wounds. It can be anything that traumatized you or affected you negatively can come up, basically. And it will make you feel like absolute trash, but that's okay, because a lot of people feel that way, and as long as you know you're not alone in feeling that way, I feel like that'll help you. I feel like that'll help you to continue on your path, whatever stage you're at. It'll help you continue, because you know that people have been there and you have to go through that stage to get to the next. So whatever change this spiritual awakening brings to your life, accept it. Don't fight it, because at the end of the day, it's the best for you. Stage one is when you start to question everything, when you start to do the research, when you feel like you just want to question things, you're curious about things, you're realizing like there's so much more to the world, and you're realizing that you're not at your full potential. So you're questioning what it is that you want, what you want out of life, who you are, who you want to be. Say you discovered that you have certain traits and qualities that other people around you have. You've been seeing that, you've been questioning, like, am I acting like that too? That was the thing that I did when I started, because I was noticing people were doing things and I was just getting tired of it, and I was like, wow, am I doing this too? It turns out I was, but I had to figure out who exactly I was, and then who I wanted to become. I wrote out all of the traits that I had, all of the qualities that came with me, and that was the good and bad qualities that I didn't really want to admit that were there, but I admitted it anyways. That was a part of me. So questioning everybody and everything, and even myself. You start to feel a little bit of a disconnect. You've started to question things. Now you're feeling like, I can't really relate to these people anymore. I don't really feel comfortable around these people anymore. I don't really feel like we connect like we used to. Like, we're not as close. We can't really talk. We can't sit in a room and talk about the same things like we used to. Things are boring. Things are stale for you. You just feel disconnected from maybe your boyfriend or girlfriend, family. And this is when you tend to go into a state of either sadness or depression, because you're feeling lonely, feeling like, why can't I relate to anybody anymore? Why am I feeling this way around the people that I'm closest to? And it just feels like you don't have anybody to talk to because nobody's relating. It's like you're acting out. That's basically what people would probably say, is you're just acting out. Like, there's no reason for you to act like that. but you just know deep down inside that something's wrong. There could be that. I do say there's two voices in your head. So one is the good voice, and then there's the bad voice, which tells you like all these negative thoughts, which makes you down yourself, which makes you insecure, which makes you hate yourself. And if you're listening to that, it's easy for you to get stuck because you're listening to that voice. You're so used to hearing that voice all the time that you don't even notice the second voice, which is the positive voice. The positive voice is your intuition speaking to you. And I feel like that's another way that spirit connects with you, is through your intuition. But if you're not listening, if you're not able to differentiate between the two, then they will find other ways to connect with you. But a lot of the times, if you aren't used to that, then you'll just be so used to hearing that negative voice. And that negative voice will be trying to keep all these people around, telling you there's nothing wrong, like you're just being weird, you're being crazy, telling you to stop acting out because everything's fine, when deep down you know it's not okay. But that voice, that inner voice, is just scared. That's your shadow side, and that is keeping you insecure. That's the voice that wants to keep you down. And if you're listening to that voice that's telling you nothing's wrong, don't question them, they love you, even though you feel deep down inside you just don't resonate with them anymore, that is clearly showing you a sign that you're basically too in tune with that negative voice. If you're a person that hates change, then when you get to this stage of the disconnect, it is probably going to be very, very hard for you. And it's probably the hardest stage in my opinion. But this can last, like, everyone's is different, but I feel like mine probably lasted about like 5-6 months, and then eventually I moved on to the next stage. But this can last very, very long. I don't even think actually it was just 5 months. It was a lot leading up to that point that even brought me to change everything that was going on around me. It was a lot that went into that. Once the disconnect happens, it is hard to go back. Once you awaken yourself, I feel like you can't go back because you've already unraveled the truth. You've already got out of this box mindset. I feel like society puts you in a box, and you finally got out of that box, and now you can't unsee it. You can't unsee the snakes around you. You can't unsee the people who act like they love you, but really they're just around to use you. You can't unsee that. And you can't unsee that you're not where you should be, and where you want to be, where you could be, where you could potentially be. And you start trying to fight it, you start getting scared, and you try to back away, and you try to go back to how things were. Newsflash, it won't happen, and you're just making things harder on yourself. So just accept the change, embrace it. It is hard, but find people you can reach out to. I'm a person you can reach out to. If you feel like you're at the stage right now and it's hard, reach out to me. We can talk about it. You don't have to say your whole situation, but I can help you out. I can give you like some advice on things I was doing, or just venting. I was reaching out to people that I knew were spiritual and who had these big accounts, because that's all I felt comfortable going to. I felt comfortable going to those people because they don't know me, so they don't care enough to go and tell anybody. That's why I say it's probably best to reach out to somebody you don't know. It's like you kind of can just appreciate life a little bit more. Like now you're back to normal a little bit. Now you feel like things can kind of go back to normal. You can reach out to new people. I wouldn't really recommend it when you're in this stage. I wouldn't really recommend like reaching out to like new people, because at that point I feel like it's easy for you to get taken advantage of. Like at this point, when I was ready to reconnect with people, I was talking to all these new people, and I feel like some people were taking advantage of me, or right off the bat they were taking advantage, and I knew. But at the time, my intuition was so blocked that when I was getting these weird feelings about people, I couldn't really notice it. I couldn't really pinpoint what it was, but I just felt like that's a little weird, but I'm gonna give you a chance because I have this new view of the world, and I'm gonna give you a chance. But I wouldn't recommend it because you're literally coming out of a period of you being hurt. And now it's like you just want to be accepted. You just want some love. You want to be surrounded with like-minded people. But people, come on, the devil was an angel at one point. So people can disguise themselves as good people when they're really not. But you'll feel more connected to the universe. You'll notice the signs that your body is sending you. You'll notice certain messages from songs. Like I keep listening to Big Sean Bounce Back. So last night I took an L, but tonight I bounced back. That part kept playing in my head. Like that song just randomly popped in my head, and then ever since then, like I've been listening to it like crazy. But I definitely felt like I was singing L after L after L, and then I woke up and I was like, I'm just tired of this. Like I want to win now. Like I was noticing the signs from the universe. Like after I got reconnected, like stuff felt a little different. Like, I felt a little lighter, but I was still sad. I was still sad even though I was getting all these messages from the universe. So if you are still sad during this time, like when you start to get these messages, just take the time you need to yourself. You're ready to be this new and improved you, basically. So you're seeing the synchronicities, the repeating numbers. There's 222, 333, 444, 843, 848, a lot of angel numbers. You'll know because once you get the feeling, like if you see a number and you think like, let me go look and see what this means, like you just get the feeling that it's an angel number, you'll see like the message that your guides or your spirit is basically trying to tell you. You were vibrating low, you weren't seeing all of these coincidences. Nothing's a coincidence, by the way. If something is meant for you, it's meant for you, and you'll know deep down inside. But if you're a closed-minded person, or if you still have these old limiting beliefs, then you obviously won't understand and you won't know that this is a message for you. But once you start to notice these things, that's how you know you're in alignment and you're starting to vibrate higher again. Whatever you thought of yourself before, or whatever you thought then, is now changing, because now you're starting to research more, you're starting to look more into things, and things are starting to make sense now. Like things that you used to think was the right way, you're finally seeing that it actually isn't. You're finally seeing all these toxic behaviors and traits of other people, and you're finally seeing that, okay, that's not the way I want to live. Okay, I don't want to limit myself like that in life. I don't want to do that. You'll probably be very, very emotional. So you'll probably be crying for no reason. If you hear something or something's done. I remember me and my mom were driving, and then we were stopped at a red light, and then some guy had smacked into the car beside us, and we're like, what the heck? And for a second, nothing happened. Nobody even got out of the car. And then my mom's like, do you want to get out and go check that? And I'm like, yeah. So we get out, and we see in the car, the car that had smacked into the car beside us, he was having a seizure. I don't know, it was just such an emotional time for me, because I was going through this awakening and I was seeing that, and then me and my mom were trying to help this guy, and then when the police and the ambulance got there, and they were acting like they really didn't care too much about the situation. Like there was me, my mom, and then like this nurse. She was an off-duty nurse, but we were so pissed. That tore me apart. Like I was so sick to my stomach, I wanted to throw up. It's a short mini story, so we'll go back and go to the next stage. You'll feel at peace, but you won't feel happy nor sad. You'll feel at peace though. This is your resting period. It's like the universe knows, spirit knows that you've gone through all of that. So now they're giving you this resting period before it's time for you to really go out and show the world the new you. Which is why I don't feel like when you get to the connection, like the reconnection stage, I don't feel like you should try and talk to people. I feel like you should try to reconnect with the people that have already been in your life, but don't go talking to all these new people because you're still pretty vulnerable. When you're resting, it's kind of like nothing's happening, nothing's moving, and that's fine. Take all the rest you need, because if you're going through it back to back to back, you're gonna need a resting period. In life, when you're going through stuff, you're gonna have to take a break. So spirit will force you into a resting period. You won't really do much after you've been battling all those emotions, all those tough emotions and all that trauma. It's like you need that rest. It could be like a couple of weeks, it could be a couple of months for you. It doesn't matter. For everybody, it's different, and especially if your trauma goes deep, your resting period might be a lot longer than most people's, which isn't a bad thing at all. It's all up to you and what you need. You're able to deal with emotions or trauma straight away when it happens, because you're able to recognize it now. You're able to now know how to deal with it. You're first having your spiritual awakening. I feel like that's the worst that it'll be, because you aren't equipped to know what to do. And which is why I'm making this video, but I feel like once people have that spiritual awakening, they're kind of forced into it. So obviously you'll find your way as you go, but you're not really well prepared. Now that you have all of this information, now you know what to do. Now when these things come up, it won't be as bad. And now when it comes up, take the time to feel those emotions, but it won't really stop you. It won't really hold you back. You'll still be able to go and be that new person. I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, but I've been having a hard time speaking and communicating with people. I feel like I'm having a hard time speaking. I'm even having trouble in this video, but I've been having a hard time speaking because I'm really not the same person that I was. There's even part of my memory is just wiped clean. It's gone. So it's like so much space for me that I can create now, but I just have to be mindful of the things that I'm engaging in and things that I'm saying, because even though like things feel fresh for me, it's like I can still mess up and I can still ruin relationships that weren't necessarily bad, but I can still ruin it if I'm coming out thinking that everybody needs to go. Like, the people that needed to go left when you were in that disconnect stage. So the people that are still here, you shouldn't like beat them up for that. Now I'm just trying to learn how to like communicate with people again. I'm trying to learn like the right way to communicate with people. And as I said, I always had trouble with making friends, so I have trouble knowing what to say to them, because a lot of people can't understand my humor. I joke a lot, and I am a jokester, a prankster, and I don't know, a lot of people I feel like can't really get me. They can't get me because it's just, I'm such a complex person. But your connections will return during the renewal stage. You'll meet new people, or you'll reconnect with someone that maybe you fell off with. You'll be able to stand up for yourself. You'll have this new profound confidence, and you'll just have this love for yourself, this love for life, and you'll have purpose. Everyone does have purpose though, and the purpose I feel like for everybody is just to live and just do you and have fun. It doesn't necessarily have to be like this thing that you chase to have, but just strive to be happy, just strive to be the best that you can be, and strive to have that happiness. That's the last stage, and it's basically you're just gonna need to know how to ground yourself and how to meditate, so that when you are dealing with these things, you'll be able to clean your you'll be able to clean your energy. Just have this new commitment. You'll have this commitment that you take with you to becoming a better you, and to do things that serve your highest good. And this will be a constant thing. It's not like a thing where you do it and you're done. When you're feeling bad, when you're feeling negative, you have to continue to work on yourself and heal whatever you're feeling, because like I said, spirituality only helps you to understand yourself better. Control these emotions, because you're gonna feel it. It's inevitable. You'll feel angry, happy, sad, depressed, only joy. You'll feel all of these emotions, but you have to know what to do when you have these situations come up where it knocks you off or it throws you off. When your mood's feeling a little low, do you know what to do? Do you know what to do to bring your mood back up? If you don't know what to do, then you need to do some more research, obviously. But just know that time varies. That this spiritual awakening was hectic, and I feel like the first one is always the worst one. I guess after that you pretty much figure out what to do. But yeah, I do want to mention though, I know in my last video I kind of trash talks journaling, but journaling will be your best friend during this time. When you need to journal every day or almost every day, and I would say buy a bunch of journals and write, because it feels more personal that way, and you can keep them forever. Like, you go back and read them, and once you go back and read them, you'll see how your mindset was then versus where you are when you're reading it. And it just feels like, it feels great to know that, wow, I really overcame that challenge. Like, wow, I really overcame that depression. This isn't to say that I didn't have any like support from people, but I did have to get myself out of this hole, because like people didn't really understand. Like, they were around to listen, but it's like they couldn't really understand. So don't really feel too bad if you feel like you have to go to somebody else. Like, I don't know, I didn't really feel comfortable going to my family about it, because they didn't really understand. So like, I don't know. And then I was healing like my family trauma, so at this time I really couldn't go to my family, but now I can go to my family. I just chose not to. I just want to mention that before my family get offended. I hope this video was helpful for you. I had a rough time trying to talk. I had so much trouble trying to talk. I don't know, but I told you guys, like, I'm at this renewal stage, and it's like a new me, a new way of me speaking, a new way of me thinking. So it's really hard for me to try and talk now, especially with these braces. But I don't know, we're getting through it, we're living. So yeah, comment, like, subscribe if you like that. Let me know your thoughts below. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. So I'm Jamie. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.